Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're embarking on a truly fascinating and, well, sometimes unsettling deep dive. We're looking into a very specific set of claims from an audio source. It's titled Proof, Lasers, DEW, used in 9/11 Cal Fires.mp3.
Yeah, and what's really compelling, I think, is how this source builds its case. It weaves together eyewitness accounts. It points to some very specific planning documents and uses some pretty dramatic interpretations of, well, natural events,
Yeah.
all to build this particular viewpoint about certain
Right.
fires.
And our mission here, just to be clear for you listening, is to really explore the core arguments and the, quote, proof that's offered in this source material. We want to give you a direct look at the details, the claims it presents, so you understand the narrative just as it's laid out. We're not adding any outside opinions or our own interpretations. It's really about understanding the story the source itself tells. So with that set up, let's get right into the main claim. The source basically asserts that these fires were caused by blue laser lights, or what it calls directed energy weapons, DDWs for short.
hmm And it's not just suggesting this. The source is quite emphatic, calling it proof positive.
Proof positive, okay. So what's the proof cited? Well, the source talks about visual sightings, specifically pointing to at least 3 separate cell phone smart cameras identifying blue lasers on video.
Mm.
It even mentions one was from a helicopter and 2 others from handheld cameras.
And beyond those videos, there's this collection of eyewitness accounts. The source says pages and pages of comments, people describing things like blue flashes, blue laser lights, sometimes really bright, bright blue. Others mention blue streaks like flares or just blue light, even blue lightning.
Blue lightning.
Yeah, and there's one specific detail about someone's cousin, apparently in Miami, also seeing blue lights coming down from the sky, so drawing parallels across locations.
And the source highlights specific videos too, right? It mentions a user named Take a Walk, who supposedly filmed flashes,
Yeah.
and another cell phone recording that caught a beam, which the source calls, was it Primasa evidence?
Primasa evidence, yeah, implying, primary, undeniable proof within its framework.
Okay, so that's the alleged cause, these DDWs, these blue lasers. Then the source shifts to describing the fires themselves pretty dramatically. It claims 10,000 acres of wooded residential land were scorched in an instant, suggesting that kind of speed points back to the DWs.
Exactly. It elaborates on what it sees as, well, unusually rapid spread. Fires supercharged by powerful winds whipped through Napa, Sonoma, and Mendocino, killing at least 10 people. That's according to the source. It claims they started in the middle of the night, about 1, 2 a.m., and then this description of them hopscotching across neighborhoods, racing across fields, jumping freeways.
Wow. And the power.
Walls of flame.
Barely 100 feet high, throwing embers ahead like hot fingers.
And to strip malls, subdivisions. People apparently only had time to grab, like, keys, maybe a pet, not much else.
But the thing the source really focuses on, the damage it calls unusual, is this description of cars. Hollow cars is the graphic term used, and trees hollowed out from the inside, not on the outside. Right, and it explicitly asks that question. How do trees burn from the inside and not on the outside?
Precisely. And it answers its own question by attributing it directly to directed energy weapons, claiming they torched the place with thousands and thousands of degrees, targeted certain areas, certain people, certain homes, certain businesses.
Okay, so that's the damage. Now, this brings us to something interesting the source brings up about the wind. It references a chart from the San Francisco Chronicle of the wind saying there was no wind. And the speaker in the source audio even adds their own experience of, initially, no wind.
But then it describes the sudden, really drastic change. All of a sudden, about 10 middle of the wind started swirling, with gusts up to 80 mile per hour. But then, just as suddenly, within 2-3 hours, it was completely back to normal again. The source emphasizes this, saying nothing normal about that pattern.
And this swirling wind, this sudden shift, leads the source to introduce this vortex idea. It connects it to another fire, the Madeira fire last year caught in Portugal, describing it as spinning winds that create the vortex energy, which then somehow creates the kinetic energy for the plasma weapon beam to focus its energy, directed energy, electromagnetic pulsing energy. It's quite a technical description.
It is, and it ties that whole vortex concept back to the local experience in California, saying the swirling winds, which everybody here felt and everybody here commented about, and at night they turned into blue flashes. So linking the strange winds directly to those blue light sightings.
Okay, so we've got the alleged how, the DDWs, the blue light, the vortex winds, the unusual damage. Now the source moves into the why. the supposed motive,
Yeah.
and it connects us all to Agenda 21.
Yeah, and this claim gets very specific. It cites Santa Rosa Planning Department papers back from 2016. The source claims the exact roadmap where the fires hit in the Santa Rosa area matched the planning reasoning for Agenda 21.
And how does the source describe Agenda 21? Because, officially it's a UN Sustainable Development thing.
Right, but here it's reframed entirely. It's presented as a plan for stack them and pack them green design, walking no fireplaces kind of communities, with density increases over 100% planned on October 7th, which the source notes was 2 days before the fires.
Wow. Okay. And it names specific organizations.
It does. It mentions the Sonoma Design Group, describing them as laser weapon companies organizations, and also Sonoma Media Investments, who are said to own the newspapers around here and have Democratic lobbyist connections and all sorts of nefarious types involved.
So painting a picture of a coordinated effort involving weapons tech, media control, and political influence.
Exactly. And the conclusions the source draws from all this are, well, extremely severe. It labels the events genocide, murder, an attack on U.S. soil, and weather war terrorism. Very strong terms.
And it talks about fatalities, too, beyond the initial reports, claiming 113 people known dead in Santa Barbara alone. And, quite startlingly, it asserts this number includes 2 former United States presidents.
Yes, that's a specific claim made. And more broadly, it states, many, many people that perished in their homes, fried in their homes. The source adds that we will not know the true body count ever, using these claims to underscore the alleged severity.
Okay, so after laying out all of that, the how, the why, the alleged players and casualties, what does the creator of this audio source say they intend to do with this information?
Well, they briefly state an intention to take this proof, as they call it, to fire departments and appropriate agencies.
And there's a call to action for listeners, right?
Oh, absolutely. A very clear one. It says, spread the word, get it around, and let's stop this madness by education first. It always starts with education. Then adds, so please share. Thank you. We need to wake up, folks. We need to wake up right now.
Right. Wake up right now. So that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've really gone through the specific claims presented in this one particular source. The directed energy weapons, the unusual fire stuff, this whole conspiracy theory involving Agenda 21.
Yeah, and if you step back and look at the whole thing, the source really does offer a complete narrative. It covers the how, the blue lasers, the strange fire patterns, and the why, the specific groups, this alleged agenda. It's actually a pretty compelling example of how you can construct a narrative around an event, pulling together different elements to make a cohesive, though in this case, highly controversial story.
And here's where it gets really interesting, thinking about how this source ends. It explicitly says, education is the key to stopping this madness. It directly asks you, the listener, to wake up and share this information. So that kind of leaves us with a crucial question for you. How do you personally approach information like this, especially when it urges you to take action based on claims that really challenge the widely accepted understanding of major events? Something to think about.